Hey folks, thanks for watching this video. We're looking forward to going through the lessons this year. We feel like this would be a great way to get you guys into the subject matter and fill in some voids that maybe the lessons missed. Now this one right here that we're about to do, it's really not into government specifics. It's more about how to work the course. So if you've been in SCCA for a while, you might not need to watch this one. Also, this is the first time that Mr. Huff and I have worked together, so we're going a little back and forth, and you know, it's a little confusing. It's kind of fun to watch, actually. But so if this is your first time going through Connexus social studies lessons, you might want to watch this. But definitely make sure you tune in. Hopefully we can actually go live tomorrow for the first unit live lesson. And if not, we'll definitely do one of these videos, and you'll hopefully get lots of good information. And if you're one of those people who like to hear from a teacher as you go through the lessons, these might be your videos. We'll find out together. All right, thanks so much. And now to us. Back to me. That's weird. All right, guys, Mr. Galt here.
Mr. Huff.
Man, what a rough start we have had with all the technology. I know some of you guys are new students. Mr. Huff, you're a new teacher. How are you feeling about this?
Listen, I'm just glad not to be in a school with, coronavirus.
That's true.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, that's true. And hopefully some of your students, some of you students are kind of laughing through this too. But things are going to work out. It's going to be great. Mr. Huff and I have been really excited about wanting to go through these lessons with you. And if you would have clicked on your calendar today, it would have taken you to the course overview, lesson 1. Let me see if I can bring that down a little bit for you. Lesson 1, course overview. That's where we are today. This is like the first day of school where we would just, tell you what's on the course syllabus. We'd hand you syllabus and tell you what to do. That's basically what today is. So nothing really mind-shattering going to happen today. Do you agree, Mr. Huff?
Yeah, this is pretty, pretty cut and dried here. I promise it's going to get more exciting as we go through this. But you got to do these kind of things, right? You got to, kind of get the lay of the land before you can really jump into the content.
That's exactly right. So we're just going to read through this. Some of you are like, really? You're going to read through this? Yeah, really. We're going to read through this. You don't have to read through it. It's going to be great because we can tell you exactly what you need and don't need to know for this course. Because as you know, what Connexus gives you, we kind of mix up a little. We're like, you don't have to do that. You have to do this instead. So we can talk about that right now. But within this American government course, you are going to explore the foundations of American governments and its fundamental principles and organization. So basically, you're going to learn how the government works. You're not in government to talk modern day politics. You're in government right now to learn how our government works, from the federal government all the way down to our city governments and just even homeowners associations. Just how governments work. That's what we're talking about here. This course is going to provide opportunities to examine government concepts such as the growth of democracy, federalism, separation of powers, and of course, everyone's favorite, checks and balances. Other topics covered include political parties, interest groups, way to affect the government, with an A, meaning ways that you can impact your government, and the influence of the media. Finally, you will learn about local and state structures, government structures, and compare political systems and economies from around the world. So there's a lot going on. You get to learn about governments. And as I mentioned in the orientation, if you haven't watched the video, we sent out that earlier, a lot of adults out there don't know how government works because they kind of skip past this course in high school. This is your chance to know how your government works. What do you think, Mr. Huff?
No, I'm excited to learn.
All right.
So let's do it.
Let's do it. So this is what you're going. It says you through. If you're new to Connexus, you might not know even how to work this. Hopefully you do by now because it's afternoon. But down here at the bottom, sorry, Mr. Huff, you disappeared, but I'll get you back on there in a second. Down the bottom, you can see this is 10 lessons long right here. Oh, let me bring this up just a little bit more. Okay, you want to be that way? I'll be that way too. Give me 1 second, guys. Haha, showed you Connexus. Right here at the bottom, you can see 1 out of 10. That's how many pages there are in this lesson. So this first thing is not, this is not the whole lesson. It tells you a little bit what you need to know. But then you click right here to go to the next page. and press back to go to the back page. That's how that works. This right here will get you to the message board. Mr. Huff and I will be getting that. If you go to the message board, basically you're just going to be sent a link to the virtual classroom, which is got awesome information. And over here, this little guy right here, that is your course erase. I'm sorry, it's a course eraser. It's an eraser. It's your course modification button. That's just for assessments and everything. So that's what these are on the bottom. But basically, when you're going through the lessons, you're just clicking through these things right there. Let me put this where we can see a little bit and go to the next thing. All right. So unit structure. Mr. Can you read this at all, Mr. Huff? If I bring it over.
Yeah, a little bit. Each semester of the government course begins. It's like one of those eye tests.
Yeah, exactly. We're everywhere, guys. We're just throwing this together quickly. I know we're not on TV. This is just a little live lesson thing, so I know it looks a little funky, but we're going to get through it. It's going to be awesome. Go ahead.
All right. Each semester of the government course begins with a course overview to orient you with the structure of the course and to provide an introduction to the APA style citations, which are required for all social studies courses. Each unit has 14 to 16 lessons per unit, and each unit includes a pre-test, instruction, unit review, and assessment. What does that mean?
You asking me? Or the students?
I was trying to have a little bit of give.
I love it. Isn't it great? I know. And I was like, I think he's asking the student, but just in case, I don't want to look silly. Yes. This is so much fun. If you aren't enjoying this, it's only going to get better. Go ahead, Mr. Huff.
Okay. Well, so a pre-test, it takes something before the unit, kind of get an idea of what you're going to learn and see what you already know. You're going to go through the instruction. You're going to learn all the stuff you need to learn. You're going to do a review to review all the stuff you learned. And then finally, the assessment, which is just kind of a fancy word for a test or a quiz or some sort of project or activity that's going to help help us see how much of that you learned. Okay. So that's kind of how everything's structured. The course is going to promote understanding and participation in government by presenting information in a context that has real-world applications. Activities are designed to develop your ability to question, read, analyze, interpret, and evaluate different forms of information, as well as communicate your ideas to others. At the beginning of the unit, you'll be introduced to essential questions such as: what factors lead to a successful government? How can government's power be limited while still giving it enough power to act when necessary? How do states and localities meet the needs of the people, and what challenges do they face? So these questions are going to kind of help you understand what are the things you should be thinking about when you're going through and learning the material.
That's exactly right. So if you are someone who writes down your notes, you probably write down these essential questions early on when you start your lessons and start, when you're going through your lessons, filling that out, or while you're listening to Mr. Huff and I go over things, filling those out. If you are someone who rather just type it out on a Word document or a Google Doc, that's cool too. Just make sure that you're taking some types of notes and not just trying to slide by, because we really want you to learn this material. Now, I know that this might be sad to some of you guys, but I think to make this a little bit easier, we're going to say goodbye to our webcams, and we're just going to send this to a bigger version, and that way you can see it a little bit better. Like I say, we're working through this together because we didn't have a live lesson, and I'm almost getting it correct. And there we go. Alrighty, so there I go. I'm taking that out, taking this out. You're like, what are you talking about? I don't see anything. Give me a second. I'll show it to you. Alrighty. Okay, so here is this lesson right here. So basically it's telling you everything that you got to go through. And that's not much. That's 2 pages. So we're already 30% done with the lesson. Rocking on. Loving that. Hard not to love that. All right. So you are going to do all of these things this year. Make predictions, identify main details, draw inferences, You can read this. They're there. You're going to do a lot this year in government. And we're going to, in this course, not only are you going to learn about government, but you're going to learn how to be a better student. So fantastic stuff there. Look, look. So if you read through that, boom, already on the 4th. Lesson materials. Stay organized. As I was saying earlier, create a course folder on your computer or create a notebook. Another thing you need to know is lesson link, which Connexus is trying to make sure that you have a friend, and that is working with a partner. When we say partner, we mean either a classmate that you're going to work with or your learning coach. Okay, when you hear the words share your findings with a partner, the partner refers to your learning coach or another student. Or if you come to our live lessons, we can talk back and forth. But it's really hard to go through these courses if you are not talking to someone else when you're going through this course. The key thing, and this is where I wish I was on camera because I could point at my notebook, is vocabulary. Vocabulary is so extremely important. Mr. Huff, will you talk a little bit about the vocabulary?
Yeah, I mean, vocabulary is important not just for government, but just in general because that's what helps you understand the words that you're reading, right? You have to understand the terms that we're talking about in order to understand the concept, so you can be able to do all those things that we want you to do: evaluate and analyze and apply and all those kinds of things. You got to know what we're talking about first. That's where the vocabulary comes in. That's really kind of the building block for a lot of the things we're going to do in every unit. So that's really, really important.
100% important, and as it says in the unit review lessons, you'll be instructed to review the glossary terms and definitions before you complete the unit test. If some of the words are unfamiliar to you, you might find it helpful to review the glossary terms and definitions before you continue on to the test, okay? And I'm going to bring myself on because I just can't, because I want to look at the camera and say, great news for our course. You can use the notes you take on the assessments. Let me repeat that again.
What?
You can use the notes you take on the assessments. That's the greatest thing ever. You can't cheat, okay? You can't just copy and paste into Google. And no, that's cheating. We're not cheaters at the school. If you do that, you're not going to learn anything, and what's the point? And you'll catch you, and you'll get in trouble. It's not worth it. You can't cheat, but you can. If you take notes, you can use them on the assessment. So make sure you take the notes and make sure you focus on vocabulary. All right, moving on. Can you believe it? 50% done with the lesson, 5 of 10, unit companion. And I have Mel, so why I turn that off, I will let Mr. Huff talk.
All right.
There you go.
There it goes. Oh, there. It's a little blurry, to be honest with you. So, yeah,
okay.
I know.
Okay, well, we are trying our best, so let me just hit do not disturb for, it's really going to be like 10 minutes longer. All right, so unit companion. So which people in your life would you call your companion? Like we've already discussed that. Why should I use a unit companion? Basically, we're saying you need to have someone to talk to when you're going through this lesson, and you can talk to us if you start coming to our live lessons, which will get more and more, in depth. As we go and talk through these things. Go ahead.
One thing that I've learned over the years, being a teacher, is that if you can explain something to someone else, then you really know that you know it. So one of the best strategies you can use is to take the unit, take the lesson, and then explain it to your companion. Explain it to your learning coach, or explain it to your study partner. Because if you can explain it to somebody, you really do understand it. You really do know it.
That is 100% correct. Good points, good points, good points. So, la 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 la. All right, so that's your unit companion. And this is also another type of unit companion, which it tells you what you need to know when you're going into the unit. So your very first unit, I have a unit companion. We'll talk more about that tomorrow when we finally start into a unit. So you have your companion you're working with and that unit companion. Lesson, note taking. I don't care how you take notes. Just take notes. Once again, I don't care how you take notes. Just take notes. We'll have some ideas for you to take notes. We'll go over those in our live lessons. But they have a lesson note-taking organizer for you. You can click on that. Hey, Mr. Huff. It'll bring up a Word document that you can go through and take notes on. I don't have time to wait for that. But here's a great thing. All right, you're going to love this. Everybody is going to love this. You don't have to worry about citation in this course. We are dropping most of your portfolios, so don't worry about the AP citation. We just want you can worry about that in other classes. We just want you to know the information about the government. So we'll worry about doing all that stuff in a later course. Right now, just learn government. All right, so don't worry about that. 70% done with the lesson. We are only 10 minutes into this, 13 minutes into this video. We'll get you out of here. Assessments, there's different types of assessments you can take. There'll be a reflection, not graded, but it's how would you rate yourself. There'll be a pretest, not graded. What do you know before you go into the lesson? There'll be a quick check. Oh, back to me. Don't worry about the quick checks, guys. Quick checks are only 5% of your grade, and you have like 15 quick checks. So one quick check really has no impact on your grade. Don't worry about the quick checks. Do you guys do course corrections for quick checks? No, you cannot remake a quick check. It's a quick check. So don't worry about it. But they're listed. Make sure that you actually pay attention to what's going on in the lesson. We are probably going to do all the quick checks together in this course. So we got that going on too. There will be quizzes. The quizzes will be 1 or 2 per unit. Those are the ones that will have those modified questions. We'll get to that when we have to worry about it. Portfolio. Only one portfolio. Only one. Students get scared of the word portfolio. They should not be. The word itself is scary when actually all we're doing for our course in particular is a document-based question. So it's really no need to worry about the portfolio in this course. Just make sure you do the best you can. Discussion. We will have one discussion in this course. You will write out your answer to the question and you will reply to 2 other people's. We'll talk about that when it's time. There'll be online practice. There'll be a unit test all the time. And then for the semester exam, can you exempt your exam? Yes, you can exempt your exam if you get an A and you don't cheat. You get to exempt your exam. So make sure that you try your best on that. Here are some rubrics. We don't worry about the rubrics. Just make sure that you answer the question correctly and you will get your points, and we'll take off points if you don't answer it correctly. And you can make that up in the future if you do not like the grade that you got on your test or quiz. You can do test and quiz corrections. All right, technology. This is where I wish that we were all together because we could go through this together. But you can look at the online textbook. Make sure you read about that. It's a great book, okay? There's lots of things that, are not exactly perfect, like the live lesson not working. But our textbook for government, it is a great textbook. So make sure you check that out. And there's interactive review tutorials. When you come to this, and I know that you'll be going through this too, make sure you click on that. And there it goes. And I know this is way not where you can see it because it's kind of small. But you can go through these. Make sure these work for you, that you can click on these. If for some reason it does not work, if you're not able to do the moving that you need to move, you will need to call up tech support, and your homeroom teacher or one of us will be happy to get you that number. But make sure that stuff's working for you too, because it's super important. And 99% of the times, it works absolutely great. Oh my goodness, we are at 9 out of 10. What's going on here? Here is the reflection, okay? All right, so this is where you just go through and answer these questions. We're going to leave this one up to you today because this is you, so we can't answer glitch there. But this is the reflection. You do that on your own. Right here is our course overview where you can do the test. This is, I believe, the quick check. This is the activity. Yeah. So this is not worth very many points at all. It says, how can students find out more about core skills such as evaluating arguments which will be applied to this course? And so you can just answer that right there. These are only 4 questions. It's really not worth it. The AP A style is what we're going for. So don't worry too much about that. Now, I know this has not been exactly what we wanted to do when it comes to our live lesson. But we hope that you stick around, come back. We'll be doing these more in person. Let's see here. What you have anything you want to close with, Mr. Huff? Who is not here right now. I believe that I cut him off too. So it's just me. Thank you guys for coming. This will get a lot better as time goes on. And I'm sending this out now. We'll send out another one tomorrow. Hopefully you guys can show up to it. And we'll be able to go through these lessons together. And we'll be able to give you the answers to some of the quizzes. And we can take notes together. It's going to be fantastic. All right. Thank you.